I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 177. Just a reminder before we start that you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. Also, our giveaway for July is still going on. We're giving away one copy of Super Mario Maker 2 for the Switch. Head on over to our Twitter for contest entry and details. I'm your host, Dave Bertino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Dan, it is quantifiably the hottest weekend in New York in ages.
I thought you were going to say in history. That's what you can say.
It's pretty high, but we've definitely had worse.
It's like 97 degrees outside.
Yeah, it feels like 100 and something. I gotta tell you, if you don't need to be outside, don't be. I'm sure everybody in New York already knows that, but stay inside, stay cool, go to a movie. Those are the ways to avoid the summer heat. But yeah, I had to be out and about yesterday. Because I got to see Weird Al in concert, so that was cool.
Wait! Weird Al he still has concerts?
Yeah, man. He still got it too. He still got it.
I never knew he had it. It's not even. Wait! Rewind. Weird Al still does concerts. Did he did like he does like all his special bits like Michael Jackson? Does he do Michael Jackson bits?
Well, it's funny. He doesn't do the Michael Jackson stuff anymore because of the new controversy and the documentary that came out. So he specifically is not doing the Eat It or any of his other Michael Jackson parodies. So there's at least like two. I think there's two, maybe like three, right? Oh, Fat and Eat It, I think, are the two ones.
I think Eat It was like the biggest one though, because that was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't do any of those anymore, which was interesting because at the show, he does the costumes for all of the like parody songs, right? So like he'll go out and dress up like the Amish folk to do Amish Paradise, and he'll come out like the Jedi to do the the Star Wars Episode 1, like the American Pie cover. So he needs time to do costume changes. So he'll have like a video backdrop, and that'll have like various like video clips of, from everything from him and The Simpsons, or, his Conan bits, or his, references in pop culture on like everything, movies and TV. So he'll have all these bits and whatnot. And, there's like a whole, there's a whole Jeopardy, episode, I think, that had Weird Al themed categories. And it has Alex Trebek and all that. It has the actual guests, and somebody picks a category for 1,200, and the answer is Eat It, and then it has a little bit of that song, and it's like, oh wow. But I guess they didn't have the budget to like recut that scene, and it's also like the whole thing, right? He picks the category for 1,200, the answer's Eat It, and it's like, well. So otherwise though, there's really no reference to MJ in the shows.
I got to be honest. Other than the Gangsta's Paradise and Beat It, right? I think there was a Bad one too. He did a parody of Bad, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Michael
Bad was Fat. Yeah.
Fat. I don't know any other Weird Al parody.
Really?
I don't know any. I can't name it.
He did Yoda. I think I'm a clone now. He did one for Jurassic Park, which was a parody of MacArthur Park, right? He's got like a ton of songs, man.
None of that stuff.
He's got Tacky, which is Tacky is the cover of Happy, the Pharrell song for the Despicable Me.
Wait, he was still making parodies? Wait.
He's still making parodies to this day, man. Weird Al has not stopped going.
I thought like he was. I thought he died or something. I'm not even joking.
What?
I thought he was
Oh
gone.
my God, dead.
After Gates' Paradise, I never heard of him.
What? No, he had an album. He had his Running with Scissors in '99. Poodle had after that, I think. Like, yeah, no, his last album was I think 2013, 2014. That had like Word Crimes on it, and Tacky, and Foil, and like a couple other things.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's good.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. No.
He even came down. He even came down when he was doing. I think when he was doing Tacky. Well, actually, a couple of songs. He came down from the stage into the audience, right? Because this was at like Forest Hill Stadium, right? So you were basically on like the quote unquote tennis court where they have the U.S. Open, and it's set up to where there's like aisles and rows, so like he can walk in between. And, he was just like going up to everybody and like sitting on their laps and like kind of like getting in their face a little bit. It was pretty funny.
No, I'm good.
It was a solid show. It was a solid show.
Yeah,
except for the fact that it was like 90 degrees outside. So, yeah, that was not cool. But I do have more news, Dan. I do have more news. Because I went out a little bit earlier in the day. The show wasn't until like 5, 6, right? And I was actually meeting up with Joe, friend of the show, who's been on episode 127, I think.
It's been a while. We gotta have Joe back on the show.
Of course we do. We got to make that happen.
Joe agrees with me like 95% of the time, so we gotta get back on the show.
So I got him tickets for his birthday. He's like, "You want to come with?" I'm like, sure, that wasn't the intention, but, I'll take it. I'll take that second ticket. So we went, and he was a little busy during the day, so I was like, you know what? I'll go out and spend some time getting a little tan and walking around the city. Maybe I'll find some pre-owned games, some retro games. And I decided to go like way out of my normal route. Didn't want to hit all the Goodwills around Union Square and didn't want to go back to the flea market yet again. I do that like every weekend, right? It's getting a little stale. So I'm going to go way uptown. I went all the way up to 86th Street, right? And I was going to go to the Goodwill over there. And I was like, all right, that'll like kill some time. And then I can kind of walk down from there and then eventually take the train over to Queens and then boom, at the show.
You wanted to go to Goodwill and find yourself Madden 2018, right?
Madden 2018. I did. It's missing in my collection now. I only have up to 16, all right? I gotta spend like $5 on that Madden 18
or NBA 2K 14 for
yep
for $5.99.
Yep, that's right. So none of that happened. I mean, I did go to a few Goodwills, but they didn't have anything good. I ended up at the Best Buy over at 86th
Shouldn't be called Goodwill anymore. It should be called Mediocreville.
Mediocreville. Yeah, right.
Mediocre will.
You're possibly going to find another copy of Guitar Hero.
Not good. Yeah, there you go.
No. So I hopped into the Best Buy for a few minutes because A, they have air conditioning, and B, it's just fun to kind of look around at things. And I've been thinking about trying to get a new TV for a little bit. Not that I need a new TV. Not that anyone really needs a new TV, but I really wanted to get a TV.
If you have a tube TV and you're not a retro gamer, I think it's time that you upgrade to a new TV.
Ha! Yeah. I mean, okay, fair. Yeah. So, like in that case, I'm definitely not in that case. I bought my TV in I think the end of 2015. I got the top of the line Samsung model for the size. It's fantastic. It's still a workhorse TV, but it doesn't have HDR, right? It doesn't have the high dynamic range that your TV does. So all the new games like the Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the Origins, Red Dead, all the new AAA titles are supporting HDR. That'll give you a wider color range without sacrificing color, right? So, the blacks look black and the whites look white and all the colors in the middle still show, right? It's a very basic explanation of what it is, but I wanted that and I wanted a bigger TV. So I wanted the 65-inch Samsung, right? The Q9 model, right? And they have a new one. They have the Q90, and they have last year's model, which is the Q9F. And I've always been on the lookout for those. If the price is really good, maybe I'll pull the trigger. If the price is really good, maybe I'll pull the trigger. And the price hasn't been to the point where it's like, all right, you gotta go ahead and pull the trigger. Yesterday was the day. I had to. I walked into the place. I saw the price tag, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because the price tag on last year's model, open box, was only $150 cheaper than what the newer model is on sale right now. So I'm like, well, let me see. So I asked the guy, and he was like, oh yeah, it's going to be $1,200. And I'm like, what? Because it said $2,380 on there. It's $1,200. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he goes, well, they don't have the little One Connect box, right? Samsung does this thing.
What's the One Connect box? I have no idea what that is.
So the One Connect box.
I'm a Sony. Listen, I'm a Sony. Sony takes my money just like Apple. Okay, so I have no idea. That's Sony TV, guys. We don't. I
understand. The
one box. I don't know what that is.
The higher end Sonys probably have something similar to this, but basically the One Connect box is a way for them to take all the inputs and move them to a separate box, and then it's just one TV, one connection straight to the TV, right?
Oh, okay.
You don't have 29 wires going up. Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
I got you.
Exactly. So the One Connect box, it didn't come with a One Connect box. And then I asked the guys, I'm like, well, I have an old Samsung TV with a One Connect box. Will it work? And they're like, no, it's a slightly different model. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. So I'm like, all right, can you give me a couple minutes or whatever? And I'm like, here's what I want, right? They said $1,200, but I'm like, I need to get a little bit extra out of this. So I'm like, look, well, can you do this and this? And then, take some time, crunch the numbers, let me know. And then I sat down, I went on eBay, I looked for the One Connect box, and I found it for a really good price. I said, I think I'm doing this. So before I went to the Weird Al concert, I ended up buying a brand new 65-inch Samsung TV. That will replace the 55-inch that I have now. And yeah.
Nice. It's not curved, though, right? Because you have a curved TV.
They don't do the curve anymore, really. I think there's some models that have it, but the one that I was looking at doesn't come in a curve.
The curve is on the way out.
Sadly,
just like the 3D TVs are on the way out.
I know, they don't even market that the TVs have 3D anymore, or the 3D capability. Like the TV I have has it, but they don't market it as a thing. It just kind of fell by the wayside.
Like I still have PlayStation 3 games that on the box says 3D
compatible, right? Right. Arkham City, most notably, has a big sticker on there that says 3D compatible.
That's funny. Oh. Well, wait, question. You sold TVs during the 3D era, right?
It was.
Or did you stop?
Right,
it was
like right at the start. Yeah, when I ended up leaving retail like that, it was right at the start of 3D.
Did they give glasses, like 3D glasses, or was it like glasses free 3D, like the 3DS?
No. You always have to have a pair of glasses for that. They can be active or passive. Basically, an active set of glasses, I believe, needs to have a battery. A little, watch size battery or whatever would go in it. Typically, the TVs would come with one set of 3D glasses, and then you'd have to buy the extra ones.
Gotcha.
I found like a bunch for like next to nothing. I went deep into Brooklyn one time, and this dude had a bunch of like Samsung 3D glasses. I was like, sure, I'll take a few. So I have 4 now total, which is great.
For like 50 cents.
Something like that. Yeah. Maybe like $1 or $2. Yeah, it's pretty good price.
So, all right, it's like 90 to 7 degrees over here, but
90 to 7. Is that what you said?
I said 97 degrees.
Okay, 97.
I said 97. No, it's like 90 to 7. No, it's 97.
Okay. It's 97 degrees.
That would be a dramatic drop. It would go from 90 degrees to 7
degrees.
That would be a dramatic
It'd be
drop.
like out in the desert. It gets real cold in the desert at night. It's weird.
At night, yes.
Yeah.
But it's real. You know what? It's scorching hot in San Diego right now because San Diego Comic-Con is happening. right now.
Yeah. We got a lot of news over these last couple days, right?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, not a lot of video game news, but definitely comic book and TV and movie news. We talked about The Witcher, right? Because they sort of had The Witcher trailer. No, they had The Witcher poster for Henry Cavill in The Witcher.
Yep. Our boy
week.
Superman,
formerly known as Superman.
Superman. It's true.
It's true. But Netflix actually released the trailer for The Witcher, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Like very high production value.
It looks expensive. It looks like Game of Thrones quality expensive, right?
Yeah, indeed. Set designs look great. A lot of the major characters from The Witcher 3. I don't know if they appear in other Witcher games because I've only played the third one, but yeah, it looks on point.
So, So I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I liked him as Superman. I liked Henry as Superman. He was, the most. He was Diesel. He was a Diesel Superman.
Sure. Well, I mean, Superman should be big, right? He should have muscles.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. He should, but I mean, he's just naturally strong because of the sun's rays. He doesn't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock. Even though, as a side note, The Rock tweeted, "The world needs a black Superman. I'm here. Meet me." So he is lobbying to play Black Superman. Just so you know.
Wow. I mean, I would see anything The Rock is in, so I'll make it happen.
I would too, but it would be kind of different. It would be kind of weird to Rock with glasses. Hey, I'm The Rock. Hey,
he
Superman.
He actually did a skit on SNL like that where he was super bad.
Really? I didn't see that. I know he did the angry Barack Obama where you got
he did that too. Oh yeah, he did that too. He turns into the Hulk. Yeah, you wouldn't like me when I'm bad. That was great. Now he did it in the late '90s when he was top of his game in the wrestling world. Maybe it was 2000, 2001. And the whole entire skit was basically how people didn't recognize him as Superman because he had the glasses on versus not having the glasses on. And it was so funny because he'd just run back in the room and is like, oh my God, it's Superman. Have you seen Clark Kent? And the only thing that's really changed is the fact that he's got glasses versus not having glasses. And it's how would you not know?
Do you remember Lois and Clark?
Yes. Yeah.
The TV show came on
The New Adventures of Lois and Clark on ABC, I think.
No, it was on ABC. Maybe
so.
It was on ABC and then it's syndicated on TNT.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Lois and
Clark.
It was a good show. It was an episode. I don't know if this was towards the end. There was some time traveler guy. I think he was a time traveler guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because he's just like, how dumb are you people? Because I think he captured Lois.
Right.
He's like, how dumb are you? Clark Kent, glasses on, glasses off, Superman. And I was like, I was watching it with my mom. I don't know. I must have been 13 at the time. I was like, yes, this is so stupid.
Yep.
How did he not know that's Dean Cain?
Yep.
I never called him Superman. He was always Dean Cain to me.
It was always Dean Cain. Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, listen, my mom made me watch the stupid Lifetime movies. No offense to people who like Lifetime movies, but as a kid with one TV in the living room, I had to sit through Lifetime movies with Dean Cain, so he was always Dean Cain to me.
I am not envious. Oh, right, yeah, no, he was like the hunky love interest. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So he was always Dean Cain to me. I'm sorry.
Sure. Sure.
So I actually seen Dean Cain. Maybe last summer, he was walking down Fifth Avenue and I bumped into him.
Oh, no way! Did you go? Sorry, Superman.
No.
You should have.
No, I was just walking around the corner and it's New York, Fifth Avenue, super crowded. I bumped into him and I was just like, oh, sorry. And he was just like, yeah, no problem. And I looked and I was like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, that's Dean Cain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I had no idea what he was up to, so I Googled him and come to find out he was either on his way from or to the Fox News set.
Oh, interesting.
He's a staunch Republican.
Yeah. Well,
but we get off on a tangent.
He's free to have his politics,
He's free to have his politics, but we get off on a tangent.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Cavill, I thought he was a little. I loved him as Superman, but he was a little stale. as Superman. Didn't really have a big personality.
Sure. I'll give you that.
Perfect for The Witcher. Perfect for The Witcher. He was perfect for The Witcher.
Sure. He's you know, kind of a little more reserved, a little bit more quiet. You know, definitely dark and brooding,
The Witcher.
You know,
The Witcher is serious.
Yeah.
Superman's supposed to be somewhat lighthearted, right?
It's a little more fun. Yeah, it's a little more
fun. Yeah. Speaking of fun, I'm excited, and I don't want to get too much into it. Top Gun Maverick. We got the first trailer. Tom Cruise is back to reprise his role.
He is. Sadly,
we haven't seen Top Gun. There was never a sequel. This was like the 80s, right?
I know. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the movie did really well. You know, it had Elizabeth Shue in it as the love interest. It had Kenny Loggins doing the soundtrack, freaking Danger Zone. To which I gotta say, they had an orchestral score over this whole trailer, which was good. Don't get me wrong. I was waiting for some rock and guitar when he was like flying through the sky. Didn't get any of that. They played it straight. It was a little interesting. They ended up swapping out Tom Skerritt for Ed Harris, which, you know, I think is pretty good. You know, I do like Ed Harris. He's kind of the commander in chief in this case. So, and the new guy, the new guy is what's his name? Because like basically Tom Cruise, I think, is going to be the
mentor.
Yeah, he's like the elder statesman. He's going to pass down the torch to the new guy, Miles Teller. He's the new dude. You may know him from Spotlight, right? The movie with J.K. Simmons about the jazz band drummer. That came out a couple years ago.
Right.
Very good movie. He was awesome in that movie. I thought he was great when him and J.K. were kind of going at it. That was kind of cool. It's got John Hamm in it too, so excited. So
Miles Teller, I remember that was a great movie. Definitely want to forget about him in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up, but didn't want to bring that up.
But look, all right. So the nerd in me was super happy that they brought back Batman Beyond, that they're remastering Batman Beyond. There were 4 seasons of Batman Beyond, and they said season 5 may still be alive. They may revive it to do a season 5. My mind was blown. We haven't seen Batman Beyond since the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a long while. So
I know it's not 20 years, but it's like it's almost 20 years later. They want to bring it back and do a season 5.
All right. So you were a big fan of Batman Beyond at the time, or
no? Okay. So look, Batman Beyond started, I want to say, in 2000. So it was like that whole futuristic. 99. The first episode aired in 1999, and it ended in 2001. So it's about 20 years. It's about 20 years. There was Batman Beyond, and then there was like Spider-Man 2099 or something like that.
Spider-Man.
I was not at the time. Yeah. I was, you know, I was like a senior in high school, so I'm not a kid anymore. They were going for a younger audience. At least Spider-Man was. Hated Spider-Man. Wasn't ready for a futuristic Spider-Man. Batman at least was in the same continuity, right? It was sort of in that same world. You know, it was cool to see the Justice League, older Justice League, right? The new Justice League of that time. But I wasn't a big fan of Batman Beyond until later on when I watched it back. I was like, wow, this was a good show.
Yeah,
it was a really good show.
All right.
I just wasn't ready for the futuristic superheroes.
I guess. It just felt really weird to me. I don't know.
They canceled the regular Batman show for Batman Beyond, but they kept Justice League. They kept the Justice League cartoon.
Right.
So, I'm excited only because I went back to watch the movies, the Joker movie. I went back to watch Freeze. I think there was a Freeze movie, but definitely a Freeze episode. I've seen all 4 seasons. I'm excited if they bring back season 5. I'm gonna watch it. I thought it was cool. I didn't like the video. Didn't like the N64 game. I'll tell you that game sucked.
All of those N64 like tie-in games were not good. Sans like GoldenEye, right? GoldenEye is like the gold standard, pun intended. Everything else, not so much. Everything else was kind of like, it's a hard pass.
But everybody was excited for San Diego Comic-Con because they wanted to know what Marvel was going to do. What was the next phase? Phase 4. Where were we going to go?
They ended up like closing out Phase 3 with a huge bang with kind of Endgame. Everybody came together to fight Thanos. It was amazing. And then they're like, all right, that's the end of Phase 3. And then everyone's like, what's next? It's like, well, we got the Spider-Man movie and, question mark.
But we're definitely getting, and I'm going to go to sort of in chronological order of theatrical chronological order. We're getting a Black Widow movie. Finally. This is, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil in-game for people who haven't seen it yet. I don't know when the embargo lifts on that, but it's going to be prior to her joining the Avengers, right? It's sort of like her origin
They're doing like
story.
I guess it's like a prequel type thing.
Yeah.
Maybe like an origin story to Black Widow. Yeah.
Will we get more? Right? Is this a one-off, or will we get more Black Widow? I mean, this is sort of like
it all depends on how well it does, I think. All right.
Yeah. Because it's going to be like a more like spy action adventure type movie.
Sure, yeah, because she technically has 0 superpowers, right? She's just like really good at what she does.
She's a good fighter.
Yeah. And the reason this is so monumental is like Black Widow was introduced in Iron Man 2. We didn't realize that she was going to be in there. She was in there as like a secondary character. And she did really well. She ended up being a part of the original core Avengers, which was kind of great. And everyone started saying, like, why don't we have a superhero movie with a female lead? Like, you obviously brought Black Widow in there for a reason. Isn't she strong enough to stand on her own and have her own, standalone movie? And, Marvel just kept saying, oh, well, we're going to do Ant-Man now. And now we're going to do Black Panther now. And now we're going to do this.
I'll be honest. They weren't ready. I don't think we were ready for like a Black Widow spy adventure movie yet. I think we needed that Captain Marvel. I think we needed a Captain Marvel, more like an action adventure superhero movie before we get like
maybe. Because Captain Marvel did really well.
Yeah, and what's not on the list because we don't have a timeline for it yet, but it's a Hawkeye. Hawkeye is going to get a TV series as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's
where
right.
He's going to train. Right. He's going to, the premise is him training someone to be someone who doesn't have superpowers to be a superhero. So it's like everyone is speculating it's his daughter because his daughter does pick up the mantle of Hawkeye.
Yep.
Right. So I don't think we were ready for a non-superhero movie.
Right. Everyone wants the big action set pieces and whatnot, and you can't really have Black Widow face off against like Thanos, a Thanos level villain. Like she's just going to get crushed.
Yeah. We got the Eternals coming out. The Black Widow slated for May 1st, 2020. We got the Eternals coming out in November 6th, 2020. Don't know much about the Eternals, I'll be honest, but Angelina Jolie is going to be an Eternal.
All right. I'll take it.
So she's in the MCU. February 12th, 2021. Go ahead.
I think the Eternals were either referenced or shown in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
There were some Easter eggs, yes. I don't remember what they were, but
wasn't like Stan Lee. There was like a cutscene of like him as like one of the Eternals.
I don't know. No. He was with the panel, right? The overseers.
Oh, the overseers. That's who that was. I thought that was the Eternals.
Yeah. No, it wasn't the Eternals.
Okay, never mind.
We thought in Spider-Man they were the Eternals. I'm not going to mention anything about Spider-Man, but we thought those were the Eternals, but those turned out not to be the Eternals. I'll just say that.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
Then February 12th, we got 2021. February 12th, 2021, we got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, this is important because it's the first Asian superhero that they have in MCU. But they bring in the Mandarin, the real Mandarin, back as a supervillain in this.
And the Mandarin featured in Iron Man 3 as basically a giant MacGuffin. He was just a man behind the scenes who was pretending to be this supervillain, right? And it turns out it's just an actor played by Ben Kingsley, funny enough, which wasted talent. Ugh, yeah.
Well, first of all, it had everyone fooled. He was amazing in the role until you found out he was not. It wasn't really, a villain at all. Right. And then they had like little shorts afterwards. After that movie, they had little shorts that still had Ben Kingsley.
It was kind of funny. Like, yeah, he's sitting there like drinking a Coke and all that. Yeah.
But they're gonna. I mean, the Mandarin is really of Asian descent, Chinese. I think he's Chinese, and they're gonna. And the setting I think will be in. I don't know where the setting is actually. I don't know much about. I mean, this is more one of those obscure superheroes that didn't know much about. Growing up in the comics, but I didn't know about the Legend of the Ten Rings, which they said was teased in the original Iron Man 1, in the first Iron Man.
Interesting. So it goes all the way back. Yeah, right?
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe that's the new Infinity Stones, of the MCU.
Right.
Then we got our first Plus series for Disney Plus with WandaVision, with Scarlet Witch, and Vision having their own.
Sounds like a new handheld console from like Neo Geo. The WandaVision.
Oh, they had the Wonder. Was it the Wonder Swan?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is the Wanda. The WandaVision. Yeah,
the WandaVision.
So this is how they keep you invested, and you have to watch the Disney Plus series because they will tie into the cinematic theatrical movies.
Yep.
Because Scarlet Witch will be in the next Doctor Strange movie, which is coming out slated May 7th, 2021, which is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, that is a mouthful, that title.
Yes. And that will be the first actual like sort of horror movie, but it still will be PG-13. And then we get another Disney Plus series, Loki. Again, don't want to spoil anything for Endgame, but if you watch Endgame, you understand.
You could just say it's a prequel.
Semi-prequel.
Semi-prequel.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're obviously making this stuff, so like people know that they're either retconning something from the movie or he's kind of getting like his own kind of thing or whatever. Like he's still in the universe in a way, so Then
we got Falcon and Winter Soldier. That would be another Disney Plus series.
Yeah, which
I like the logo.
I think it should be awesome.
I like the logo because the logo is with the Captain American shield, right? Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So who will take up the mantle of Captain America?
Well, didn't he? We also can't say that because of Endgame too, I guess. But I thought that already happened.
Well, I don't want to talk too much.
We'll have to talk off camera on that. We don't want to
comics. In the comics, a lot of people took up the mantle. Put it that way.
Well, fair.
In the comics, everyone sort of had their shot to be
interesting. Okay.
And then what we thought was last, but not least, was we will get a Thor 4, Love and Thunder. Gotta love these.
Sufficiently 80s. Yeah.
It looks sufficiently 80s. It looks like Flash Gordon, right?
Yeah, man. And that is I am all about this. Based on how well Thor Ragnarok was, because they kind of like lean into that a little bit. It's kind of over the top, a bit more of a actual comedy movie with action elements in it. I am super hyped for Thor.
But they brought out Natalie Portman, someone who wasn't in Endgame. She was referenced, but she wasn't in. We could say that. I thought she was done with the MCU after the second Thor movie.
Well, but yeah, she was real upset because they penned this female director, and then at the last minute, Marvel Studios swapped them out for another director for whatever reason. I guess.
Well, they couldn't see eye to eye on the vision of the movie.
No, right. But I mean, like that's.
But she was already contractually obligated to.
Right, and she was just upset about like the late game change because she was like, "Oh, great, you're gonna put a female to direct this movie. That's like awesome," and that didn't really like sit right with her. So she kind of like left after that. and she didn't want to be a part of the MCU universe anymore, which is why you never saw her in any of the other Thor movies or referenced. I mean, they had the one reference in Endgame just to kind of close the loop. So that was interesting. And it was like, well, now you want to come back? Like, you were trying to make a stand, and you're like, I don't really stand for this. I don't think it's fair that she got kicked out, the female director. But it kind of makes sense because I think the idea of Thor 4 is that he's going to pass Mjolnir, pass the mantle down to her. And
well, she's holding him in here. She's holding it in there.
Right. Which would, like, say to me, like, hey, like, they're going to do the whole female Thor thing, right? She's obviously worthy to hold it. Otherwise, how would you be able to hold it up? And then it's like, oh, it's a bit of female empowerment, this and that. Like, I see why she would want to come back in that case. They're like, look, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Do you want to be on board for this? And she was like, yeah, I'll do that. So,
well, we don't know. We really don't know what direction they're gonna go, but I'm excited.
That's true.
I mean, especially with a title called Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's true.
So we thought that was it, and we thought that was going to be it. He even mentioned, Kevin Feige mentioned, hey, that's, the end of the panel. We don't even have time to talk about what we're going to do with the Fantastic Four and the mutants, which was just an offshoot comment, which got everybody going, that they really are going to incorporate, the X-Men and Fantastic Four, probably in Phase 5, if you ask me.
I mean, hopefully they'll try and do that. That would be epic, and everybody wants that. So
Phase 4, by going through this list, Phase 4 takes us through the end of 2021, right? In a separate interview with IGN, they pressed him about the mutants of Fantastic Four, and he did say they are sort of working them into the mix, but it won't be the way it's been. It's going to be something different than we've seen before. So I don't know what that means. Will they go with a different X-Men cast? Right. I mean,
a lot of them are starting to be aged out, even though they already swapped out a bunch of them. So,
well, what do you mean aged out?
Well, as in we obviously don't have Wolverine anymore. We don't have what's his name playing him. We don't have the original.
No, you're talking about
anymore.
actors.
We don't have.
Are you talking about actors? I'm talking about
exactly.
characters.
Exactly.
He's talking about characters. He's talking about characters. They're not going to come back the way you know it. So that tells me maybe we won't get the same X-Men cast. Maybe they'll swap them out, for some other storyline in the comics where we have a different cast of X-Men. Maybe we won't have that same classic. We won't have that same classic cast of Cyclops, Wolverine. Maybe we'll have a different cast. Maybe we'll have a young. Maybe we take one of the stories from the X-Men comics in the 2000s where we have a totally different cast of characters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that could be
with cameos from the old ones that we, from the cast that we know, Wolverine to show up, or Cyclops to show up, or Storm to show up, right? Mm-hmm. So, definitely the actors are totally brand new actors, totally brand new actors.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the characters that will be brand new,
right?
But they ended the panel with something crazy. I was pleasantly surprised when I heard this. I was going bananas, and they did the mic drop, where you're gonna have to. I apologize for mispronouncing the name, because I mispronounce everyone's name. I'm terrible with names. You
can just say that actor from Green Book, Dan. It's fine. Or the Wire.
He's been in a lot of different, and well, this ties in. He is in the MCU because he played the villain in the first season of
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. No. Luke Cage.
Oh.
Mahershala Ali.
There you go.
That's the best way.
There you go.
Mahershala Ali will be the new Blade. He's going to play Blade in the new movies. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Wesley Snipes is up there in age. I mean, I'm going to guess he's in his early 60s right now. So
Wesley Snipes is definitely too old to be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, Mahershala Ali is no spring chicken either. So, but he's younger than Blade, or younger than Wesley Snipes.
Well, Wesley Snipes is 56 years old.
56? Wow. I thought he was a little older. All right.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, that's it's a little up there for a superhero, for sure.
Well, Mahershala Ali is 45, so he's about 11 years younger.
Sure. He's good for like 2, maybe 3 movies if it ends up doing well.
Well, he's a great actor. He has great range. My only issue with him is the reason why Wesley Snipes is perfect in the role is because he was legit martial artist in real life. Like he, he can do kicks and punches, and I mean, he took martial arts. Mm-hmm. So it was a perfect pairing of a black martial artist vampire, right? He fit the bill just like 100%. Patrick Stewart fit the bill perfectly for Professor X.
Yeah.
So it was like the role was written for him. So I don't know if Mahershala Ali has any type of fighting background or martial arts background, or how they're gonna how is Blade gonna be incorporated? Well, Wesley Snipes, I think they said Wesley Snipes in offshoot interviews after the panel will be in the movie. I think they said, if correct me if I'm wrong, but if he is in a movie, will he be an older Blade passing the torch to a younger Blade or a new Blade? It's not that
either that or just like a small little cameo appearance, just to be like, hey, remember me? And they're like, yeah, we do, and the crowd goes wild.
I don't know if you remember. We talked about this. I don't know how long ago, maybe months, definitely in 2018. We talked about this, where Wesley Snipes said he was in talks with Marvel over something. He didn't reveal what, and he even revealed that the Black Panther was supposed to come out. There were talks of a Black Panther movie in the 90s, and he was supposed to play T'Challa.
That's right. That's right. Which would have been real interesting.
I hope he's in the next Black Panther movie, which they did say is in the works. They have nothing to say about it right now. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is in the works, but they have nothing to say about it right now. That probably is Phase 5 at some point, maybe at 2022. Mm-hmm. So, but Dave, why don't we get to our favorite part of the show, as we always start the show, but epically fail. What have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing Beat Saber for the PlayStation VR because, well, A, the game is awesome, and B, it is a good way to get into shape. I mean, it's true. It's true.
Why don't you just get a Wii balance board and play some old games?
I have a Wii balance board. You want me to dust off my Wii and hook that up again? No, get out of here.
Dust off your Wii U. Hook it up again.
No, get out of here.
You can play it in HD.
Get out of here. I'm not gonna balance on a Wii board when I can like pretend I'm a Jedi with like the dual blades. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. And the company who made it said on Twitter that they're working on some things with some new tracks, and if everything goes well, they're gonna have a free download pack next week. So if anyone out there is playing Beat Saber, fire up your PS4 and check their Twitter. But I think there may be some new free songs coming.
Nice.
Yeah. The more the better.
So I've been playing a lot of SteamWorld Dig 2. I've been taking the bus to the city. We call it Express Bus out here in New York, which is like a direct line from whatever borough you're from directly into Manhattan, so it doesn't stop every other block. So I've been taking the Switch with me and been playing it more in portable mode lately. So I've been playing a lot of SteamWorld Dig 2. Definitely a Metroidvania type game. Love it. Love that game. It didn't start off so hot where I was kind of bored, but once I get into the story, they finally get me into the story, I was like, wow, now I'm intrigued. And some of the boss battles are interesting. So I would say definitely pick that up. And didn't get a lot of pickups this week, but I did pick up Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order on the Switch, and I've been playing the heck out of that. Love that game. It's an action role-playing game, hack and slash. I love my hack and slash beat-em-ups. I know I'm putting two combinations together that don't go together, but to me, it's a hack and slash beat-em-ups.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm with you on that. I follow.
Overall, I got like a good Metacritic score, like is okay, right? 74. A lot of people, it's the scores have been all over the place. Like the Daily Star gave it 100, Game Informer and IGN gave it 70 and 78 respectively. So the scores are all over the place. The biggest knock against it from people is that it's repetitive. But of course, as an action role-playing hack and slash game, they're all going to be, it's just like the first two. So it's going to be repetitive. the cutscenes in the story, all right, it's sort of, they don't really take homage with the MCU, with the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But the story keeps me invested with the cutscenes. So I really dig that. The only thing I don't like is some of the puzzles that you have to do, and they give an overhead view. It's annoying, I gotta be honest, but I know why they did it, to sort of break up the action, break it up a little.
Yeah,
I think they could
put a little variety in the game.
I think they could chose something else. They could have did something else. It's just
the execution not so great, but the idea is good.
You have to level up your characters. Like, you have to don't just stick to your main characters that you love. You gotta switch it up a little and level up your other characters, because you may need them in later battles where you don't need them now. You may need them later on. Right. Where you hit a boss battle and you need people who can shoot fireballs at this person, or
you need like a range attacker
thunder,
as opposed to close up like Wolverine. So need to find the right person for the job, right? This guy's a fire elemental. Maybe you got to use Iceman. You got to match him up accordingly. And if he's not leveled up, he's a level 1 character. He's not going to have all the abilities, the extra hit points, and all that. You're probably going to get smashed. So I like that. I like that. It adds a little bit of replayability too, right? I'm sure you can go back and, grind up your fighters, get their level up a little bit. So
I really dig it. I'm still sort of alternating between both games. So just to switch it up a little. Switch. All right. So why don't we take a break, and we'll come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. We have to start with the Switch. So last week we talked about the light switch, or the Nintendo Switch Lite.
Yeah, it's the light switch. It'll always be the light switch in my book.
It'll always be this light switch. All we got to do is just switch the word. All we got to do is switch the words around. Exactly.
I get the box. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the word light, and I'm going to switch it with the word switch and paste it around and make it look proper.
He's going to switch it with the words.
That's right.
But they did say there were going to be 2 models out this year, right? That was the rumor at the beginning of the year. That we would get 2 Switch models.
People were speculating that the XL was going to be the other model. That is not the case.
Well, people speculate that we would get a Switch Mini, which I still like that name better. No offense to the light switch. If they weren't going to go with the light switch, they should have went with the Switch Mini. But
yeah, I would be less angry about that.
But we thought we would get a Switch Pro. Not exactly. We're just gonna get a new model of the original Switch. So it'll be the same Switch. And we talked about this last week because they had a filing with the FCC that they were going to switch out the chip. But there was no actual full announcement about that until now. So it's still the original Switch with a different chip to significantly improve the battery life to 4.5 to 9 hours, depending on the game, which is a big jump. That's a huge jump.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when they were like, 2.5 to whatever, and then they're like, you can get maybe 2 hours out of Breath of the Wild. Now they're saying you can probably get about 4.5 hours out of Breath of the Wild on the go before you need to recharge it, which is insane. It's like double, right? It's like double the battery life.
But the issue is the light switch, or the Switch Lite. You don't get. That's the one that's portable only, right? So shouldn't that one get the boost in the boost in chip to have like the chip to where you can have the battery life that's lasting all day, right? Not the original Switch. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's not the smaller form factor. It's not the fact that the Joy-Cons aren't detachable, because those are all cost-saving measures, right? The smaller screen and all of that. It's really in the chip, right? The new Tegra chip allows it to run a lot cooler, and it doesn't need a lot of air to cool it down, so it can run cooler, which thus ends up giving them longer battery life in that case, right? So they're like, why wouldn't we do this? It's pretty cost effective to use these new chips, so we're just going to do that, like, moving forward.
Well, the light switch, the light switch, you didn't get me saying it. The light switch lasts 3 to 7 hours, right? So why didn't they put this chip in here for it can last 9 hours? Because this would make sense, because you can't dock this to continue playing. You would have to just put it away and charge it.
That's a good point.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm confused.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is a little bit more expensive for these new Tegra chips because they're like more performant. Like maybe that's it. I just assume that this was the new model chip that was replacing the old chip that they used in the original Switch, and they're like, well, we might as well swap it out if we can. And then, we can also probably get people to buy this new system as well because, hey, look, we can promote has a better battery life than the original. And then, because that would definitely get me to buy one of these. I was going to buy the light switch, but now with this new model with the longer battery life, maybe I'm going to get that. I don't know.
All right. So you know what I'm going to get?
What's that?
Are you ready? Yeah. I'm going to get both. I'm going to get both.
Surprise. I'm probably not going to make it happen.
I'm probably not gonna get this new version of the original Switch until maybe like Christmas, right?
Right.
When I get my bonus, or I can justify spending another $300 on something I already have and don't need. But the light switch, I may get the light switch when Link's Awakening comes out. The reason why I say I may is because I like the look of the Pokemon Switch, the light Pokemon themed light Switch. That's not gonna come out until November. Yeah. It reminds me again. The front reminds me of Super Nintendo, and Super Nintendo is one of my favorite consoles, if not my favorite console of all time.
Classic looks, classic design. And you're right, it is one of the best consoles of all time.
But with the new light Switch comes new issues. Joy-Cons. Okay, so the light Switch, the Joy-Cons don't detach.
Yes.
So. But we still had issues with the original Joy-Con, which was this something called drifting, the drifting Joy-Cons. But first of all, before we even get to the drifting Joy-Cons, remember the left Joy-Con people had an issue with at launch?
Right. The left Joy-Con wouldn't connect properly. I think when it was hooked onto the system, right? It was something with the sensor. Yeah.
It was something with the sensor. There's like a foam thing that was moving around. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember that. But now we have the drifting problem, which I haven't experienced. You have.
Drifting problem has been a problem since the beginning. Some people have experienced it. I know there's a handful of people I know that have experienced it. One of my Joy-Cons drifts, which is why I bought a new set of Joy-Cons because with the old ones you have to send them back to the company, and then Nintendo, I think, repairs them for free, but it takes forever, as they do. So, and it seems like now people are rising up against the drifting because it's that big of an issue. They want reparations for all of their trouble and problems with all of this. So they're filing a class action lawsuit.
So, but what if you have what if you have the drifting issue on your light switch? You can't exactly just take it out and replace it with a new Joy-Con.
Well, you'd have to send the whole thing in for repair. Yeah,
that's crazy. This class action lawsuits never get what people think they're going to get when they first sign up, because people think, people usually think punitive damages, right? Because punitive damages is where you get the money. It's like when you get the money where they penalize the company for whatever the issue is.
So like if there was something harmful in toothpaste and you had that toothpaste, that would be something.
And they knew about it and they didn't fix it.
Right. And they were able to prove it.
That punitive damages is punishment to where they have to pay out. Like the big, where you think of lawsuits, you think of, I want to get $1 million, right? That's $1 million comes from the punitive damages, not from the judgment. The judgment is usually to fix whatever was broken. The punitive damages is, for your pain and suffering as a punishment to the company never to do it again, right? Because that's their incentive, not not to let something like this happen again.
Right, exactly. And then what is like both of those are considered class action lawsuits? It's just the damages.
Well, class action lawsuit just means you're getting a lot of people together.
I see. Okay.
From other players. Like if me and you sued Nintendo, that's just a lawsuit.
Right.
That's not a class action lawsuit. You need a lot of people from all over to come together.
I see.
To sign to come up to a lawsuit. So in this case, it's a class action lawsuit from people all over the United States, from all over.
So instead of saying like a many people are angry lawsuit, they call it a class action lawsuit, which sounds a lot prettier. It just doesn't it doesn't evoke what it is offhand, which is why I was curious.
But these class action lawsuits for something, I mean, I don't want to downgrade people's pain and suffering with the drifting stick, but it's sort of minimal, compared to other issues companies could fix, right, or have, or whatever you want to say.
Right, exactly. If you have like a faulty seatbelt mechanism in your car,
you can die
so much higher.
Yeah, there we go. The stakes are much lower, minimal drifting Joy-Cons. So people, of course, if you do join up on this class action lawsuit, just know your reward may be a $10 check for $10 at some point 5 years from now.
Well,
just before you start, the people who win in class action lawsuits are the attorneys because they're getting attorney fees.
Right, exactly, because they make all the money because you have to hire a firm to end up representing you because you don't know what you're doing. You
love to jump into this. They love to jump into this.
Of course, because they basically win on both accounts, right? Whether they lose or win the case, they still win.
Exposure,
they make money. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that and they get exposure.
Yeah, sure, that too. But I was just gonna say, like, I was in a lawsuit. And it's perfectly fine to talk about it because it's a class action lawsuit involving a bunch of gamers.
That's over.
That is 100% over now.
Yes,
it's been done. But I got a notification in the mail about Madden football, and someone in 2013 or 14 made some claim about, I think, their online services or whatever, and there was some problem with the way they marketed the online services, or I don't know, something like that. And I'm like, sure, I'll be in this. I bought a couple versions of Madden. So you'd get a couple of bucks for every version of Madden that
buying it from Goodwill doesn't count.
No. This was well before I was doing the Goodwill hunting, and plus you wouldn't be able to prove that it was a full retail purchase because those obviously don't count. But they had all the proof of my purchases. All that stuff was online, so we did end up winning a couple of bucks, and EA had to pay out. I don't know what they've done to fix their online services since, because I mean, they obviously keep putting new features out year after year, and the netcode changes year after year. I would assume they kind of upgrade and update things. So whatever they had before is definitely not what it is now. So I don't know. I guess it worked out in our favor. I
just wonder, because they haven't really said anything about the drifting Joy-Cons, if there's no way to fix it, like permanently, like maybe their way of fixing it may happen again. If they still fix it, it could still drift a little, right? I want to know because if they found like a permanent fix for it, they would announce that, right? And say, hey, we found a permanent fix. It's never going to drift again. Send it in. We'll fix it. They fix it, but then they haven't found a permanent fix for it. That's why they haven't said anything.
Well,
that's what I'm speculating.
I mean, the fact that you have an issue with the Joy-Con, right? Because even if it does drift, right? I mean, I think at this point we're able to determine that it is a manufacturing flaw, as opposed to, well, you were too rough with your thing, and now the stick is off center and it goes all the way to the right.
It's a totally different issue than the N64 stick when you when you were playing certain games, you had to be rough with it, and they replaced the whole stick for you.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, is the company beholden to fix it if it's a manufacturing flaw?
Yeah.
I mean,
the whole point. That's the whole point.
Well, what about like the Red Ring of Death thing, right? Microsoft stepped up and did the right thing, but they didn't have to do that. They could have easily just said, well, your system got busted.
I think if they did a class action lawsuit, a judge would say otherwise.
But you would have to take them to court and have to prove that it's a thing.
But the problem would be in that case that wouldn't help. That wouldn't help right away. Like you would have to go to court and drag it out in court for a few years and then finally win. But Microsoft did the smart move and just ate the cost because their reputation was on the line.
So much.
This is only their
gamers.
This is only their second console. It wasn't like they had a track record of putting out quality console, right? Quality consoles. Right. This was supposed to be their big reveal because people like Dave don't like the original Xbox, even though the original Xbox is one of the most underrated systems of all time. Just throwing it out there.
It's Dan thinks it's one of the most underrated systems of all time. That is a fact.
It just is. It's right behind it's right behind the Saturn.
It is a very mediocre console at best. It is the Halo playing machine, and I will stand by that.
Oh, you mean a Dreamcast? Yeah.
The Halo playing machine. The Dreamcast, most underrated system of all time. Sorry.
No, Dreamcast was definitely
way ahead of its time.
Way rated. And the Xbox was the Dreamcast too, if that was the case, because it had a lot of their IPs, and it did exactly what the Dreamcast did. It's just a little bit bigger in size.
They bought Sega into... All right, we're not going to get into all this right now. Let's just say you're wrong and I'm right, and then we can keep going.
Let's just say you have no idea what you're talking about, and you're insane because of the heat. I understand. I get it. But let's talk about good news. Let's get into some good news. If you were one of the lucky people that flew Southwest, when you landed, you got a free Switch and Mario Maker 2 game.
I bugged out when I saw this story. I was like, what is going on? What is this?
I bugged out because why did they wait until they landed to give it to them? Why couldn't?
Well, okay, yeah. So Nintendo decided to team up with Southwest to do this promotion, right? Where they were going to randomly pick a flight, give out everybody on the flight a free $300 Nintendo Switch and a copy of Mario Maker 2 for free.
I think that Mario Maker 2 is a digital code, though, right?
It's fine by me. I'll take it.
Maybe that's why they gave it to them, because the digital code you need to get online and download it.
Yeah, and
they don't want you doing that
unless they had it unless they had it preloaded on the system, which would be the smart thing to do, to open it up preloaded on the system, and then as soon as you take off and you're in the air, be like, hey, we got an announcement. Just come over on the speakers, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, they're gonna give us free peanuts, right? And it's like, no, let's look under your seats. You get a Nintendo Switch, and you get a Nintendo Switch, and you get a Nintendo Switch. They just like Oprah everybody. I would bug out. Oh,
that's funny. I was just a little upset that you're flying. What if you just rushed off the plane for whatever reason and you didn't get a Switch? That'd be kind of bugged out.
I think they blocked you before you got off. They're like, wait a minute, everybody sit.
What if you weren't supposed to be on this plane and you were? Oh my God! You know what? What if it was you? What if we were coming back from PAX and you know how you like to give up your seat to get a gift card?
Well, you know what though? My gift card was well over double what the Switch was worth. All right, I'm happy. I'm perfectly fine in saying that.
In that case, yes. But what if it wasn't?
Well, that'd be a different story. Switch. Yeah, if it was only like a $50 gift card, and it'd be like, yeah, it's $50. Why would I not just take the hotel and fly back in the morning?
You would be mad.
I would have been a little pissed. But that's not the case, though. I took the money. You did not. You did not for whatever reason. Listen, you could have gotten 2.5 Switches. That's how much money they gave me. They gave me money to buy 2.5 Switches on a gift card.
I wanted to come home. I was ready to come home.
Yeah, but it's free money. It was good free money.
You know what? You can't.
They gave me a free hotel room. They gave me dinner and breakfast credit. I'm good, man.
You can't put a price on being home. I was ready to be home.
You can. And Dan, you know how much? It's worth $800.
You know what? It's worth much more than $800. I would have to buy 20,000 Switches. Okay.
Dan, you're insane. You're insane. We spent 3 days away in a separate hotel room. 3 days away in a separate hotel room.
One more day in Boston, they would have to buy me 10 Switches. I'm sorry.
Dan, I don't understand. I don't understand. I kind of get it. I kind of get it that like you want to be home, and if it was like $50 or $100, I would probably have to think about it for a second. But they were like $800. Here you go on a gift card of your choice. I was like, yeah. So I just got one of those like use anywhere credit cards, and I just I'm like, great, this is fucking great.
Well,
that's how I got my Xbox One X for free.
No, I thought no, you bought the PS4 Pro,
or maybe it was the Pro, or maybe I bought both. I don't know.
No, it was the Pro. I remember it was the Pro. You were like, I'm getting a PS4 Pro now. I can have one. I remember that.
Yeah, no. Maybe that is it. Yeah, maybe that.
Well, everybody who got the free Super. How about to say the Super Switch? Everyone who got the free Switch, now they have Mario Maker 2. What other game can they buy? They can buy now the physical edition of Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, the triple pack. Mm-hmm. Even though it's not really the physical edition of Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, because only 4 will be on the cart. 5 and 6 are download only, and this is coming out October 29th.
Right. So it has all the artwork for all 3 games on there, right? It still is a triple pack, just only one game on the disc. This is obviously a cost saving measure, right?
Cart, not disc.
Well, cart, yeah, sorry. So the little white carts are expensive, right? Because it's not a CD, it's a little SD memory or whatever it is, special Switch cart. They're expensive. These games are big. They were all AAA titles when they came out, so they're like, we can do one of these, and then you can just download the rest. All right.
Well, the problem. Well, when I first saw it, I was like, I'm getting this. You know why? Because it didn't have the little ugly download label at the top.
Right.
But they got in fine print at the bottom of the artwork.
Yeah. No. It's written there.
It doesn't stand out. It doesn't have any white label. It says only Resident Evil 4 will be on here, and you have the download code for 5 and 6.
That's right.
Why didn't they put this out sooner? Because they announced 5 and 6, and people already bought 4, because 4 already came out. Mm-hmm. But what if you wanted to get the triple pack? They could have just put this out and said you could buy them $20 a piece, or you could buy the triple pack for $60. That's coming out in October.
Yeah. It's a bit of a weird cash grab. They're all out at around the same time. They're all within the year, right? Within the half year, right? It is a little weird. Right? Because these games are not new by any means. Resident Evil 6 was like 2011, maybe, if even. It was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 was like 2005, 2006, maybe, if even. Like, it was a while ago. And, obviously 5's in the middle there, so they're not anything new. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. It's a little weird.
So this is coming out October 29th. Mm-hmm. But we finally got a release date for Luigi's Mansion 3. And that's coming out October 31st, 2 days later.
All right. October's going to be a hot month, let me tell you.
Well, it's coming out Halloween. It's actually coming out Halloween. It's a little weird that's coming out Halloween because you would think they would want it to be out a little bit longer because it's like Halloween themed month, right? It's a Halloween month. So
yeah, I mean, it starts at like the end of September and it goes well into up to the 31st. And after that, it's like, it's done.
Come on. There is no the day after, November 1st, we're going to be thinking about turkey. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be thinking about Halloween.
We're thinking about turkey and football and, all that like sweet vacation time. Yeah. I'm not going to be thinking about Luigi's Mansion. It's a little weird. I wonder if they're trying to like get out of any other big releases.
Well, look, it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare is coming out October 25th. So that's a week prior, right? And then you have Death Stranding that's coming out November 8th. That's a week afterwards. So it's sandwiched in between.
Two big
It was rumored. It was rumored to be October 4th, which is Ghost Recon Breaking Point. That's coming out October 4th. But between Ghost Recon and Call of Duty, there's really no huge releases coming out. So they could have came out, if not October 4th, but the week after October, the week later, maybe October 11th. And then they'll give you some time before Call of Duty, and you still have the whole month of October.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I can think of is maybe
before you go, just after Death Stranding, a week after that, you got Pokemon. So you got 2 weeks after Luigi's Mansion is Pokemon.
Right. The only thing I can think of is that they're like, well, this is obviously a very different game than any of those other games. You know, Pokemon and Luigi's Mansion kind of have that like kid kind of feel and aesthetic to it. You know, it's very bright and colorful. It appeals to a younger audience. You know, obviously adults are going to pick this game up too, but, you know, maybe they're like kind of thinking is like, well, I mean, people who are going to buy this game are going to buy this game regardless of when it comes out. So maybe they're just like, well, we need more dev time and this and that. Let's do it on Halloween, you know, the spookiest day of the year, and let's you know, kind of get that tie-in going. So I don't know. I'd rather they do it earlier in the month too. I think I'd be a better strategy, but you know, it looks like this is the release date. So
I better have some good games for Nintendo Online October. If that's the case. Mm-hmm. Better be some damn good games.
You got to have something to play.
What was like a spooky game on an NES? If they still NES games.
Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street.
Friday the 13th or Friday. Yeah, that would be, well, I don't know.
The movie tie-in thing. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they would have to pay the license for it. I don't know. If
probably, yeah. I don't think. I'm pretty sure LJN does not have the license for that anymore.
Okay, so maybe.
Pretty sure LJN doesn't exist anymore, let alone have the license for it. So I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. You could put out Demon's World if you're in Japan, which was like a Pac-Man clone.
How about this? How about because I think they're going to do Super Nintendo games in September or announce it in September because that's the 1 year anniversary of the Nintendo Online. Yep. So they put out Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
I was just gonna say either Super Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins for the NES. That's perfect.
I think that's. Oh no, it's not out yet. I don't think. I haven't been on. So I don't know if Ghosts and Goblin is on there. Mm-hmm. But they could do that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears to Google Stadia. I'm not ready for the digital future. I'm just not.
Neither am I, Dan.
I don't think it'll be all digital. At least I think we got this generation, and then the generation after next will dip its.
Generation I don't think it's after the one that's coming out.
After the next generation PS5 and Xbox Prime, I think the generation after that will dip their head in the water. But I don't think it'll be totally digital. I think it'll be digital.
We're already in the digital realm. You can get
digital?
you can get any game digitally now. So we're like half there. You get heavy discounts on all the games in the store.
I don't know if we're going to get a small Apple TV box in the generation after next. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, the all like digital step is going to be a little tough.
Listen. People thought we would have hoverboards in 2017, right?
2015 actually.
2015.
And by all accounts they were out before that because, you know, like kids had the Mattel hoverboard in Back to the Future 2. So they were obviously out at least by that holiday season, which was the end of 2014. So they were at least that old.
Yeah, we still don't have that. People thought VR was the future.
I know.
And that was in the 80s and early 90s.
We had so many failed attempts at that. It was like, it's kind of cool, but it's really not there yet.
I don't think we're gonna. I think people like us are gonna hold on to physical so much that they're not gonna let it go. Yeah. But Stadia, but people always complain about Nintendo Online, not enough games. I think I like Nintendo Online because it's $20. If it was $60, I get you. I feel you. I would be totally with you if I paid the same amount of money for Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, but I don't. I paid $20, and I don't even pay that anymore because I have Amazon Prime, which I linked to my Nintendo Online account.
Right,
so I have another year.
Yep,
so I got another year. So I'm not complaining about the free NES games I don't play every month. Even though I dip my toe in sometimes to see, I dipped in to play Donkey Kong 3 a little bit. That was it. Mm-hmm. I played like 20 minutes of it. And I was like, I don't want to bug spray up Donkey Kong's ass anymore. I'm good. But Stadia.
Yeah.
But Stadia, it was a totally different game than the first two.
Yeah, well, it also didn't have Mario in it either.
Yeah, because he knew that bug spray wasn't going to work. So Stadia, now we know it's Stadia. We got the free version that's not so free because you're still going to have to buy the games.
Right.
That's you're gonna have to buy the stream the game, so you don't really own it. That's coming out next year. If you're an early adopter, I think you buy. What is it? You get the limited edition of controller, and you get to play a bunch of games that already exist, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and a few other games. Oh, Destiny. Destiny was the big thing.
Well, Destiny's the one that comes free, I believe.
Comes
Destiny
free,
2.
yes.
Yeah, Destiny 2, the collection. So you get all the DLC for free.
But Stadia now will offer roughly one free game per month. Just like Nintendo Online gives you 2 free NES games, and Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus gives you 2 games. So I'm a little sad it's only one game they offer, where everybody else gives you 2 games. Even Nintendo gives you 2 games. Even
it's one
Nintendo
more. It's one more than they were
games.
giving you just a week ago, right? When they or a couple weeks ago when they like fully announced all the details at E3. You know, they didn't say any free games. They just said, "Oh, you're going to get Destiny to start, and then you got to buy the rest." So it's baby steps, Dan. It's baby steps. They'll get
Baby
there.
steps. Let their first party studio make some games they give away for free in 2025.
That would be ideal. That would be ideal if they still happen to be around in 2025. That's
well, they're gonna have to
TBD,
give
to be
away
determined.
some indie games for free to make it worth it.
I think they're gonna go a little bit hard, sprinkling in the free stuff to get people on board, and then also to keep people on board. You know, because you don't want anybody like defecting because there's just not enough content on there, or they're not giving you free stuff like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are. So
I got to be honest. Until proven otherwise, this is the Ouya on steroids. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Stadia is the Ouya on steroids.
Well, I mean, I know you're not going to get it because you don't have a PC, so it's kind of. I mean, I guess you could stream it on a Mac, right?
I can still. Well, I don't even know if it's compatible with Mac. And
I would assume so because this is a streaming service.
You need certain phones and certain tablets.
You do need to have a Google Pixel device to be able
not
to
even
do it on
not
your
even
phone.
a Pixel device. You need a certain Pixel device.
Right. I have a Pixel 2 XL, and that is not compatible. You need to have a Pixel 3 apparently, and a Pixel 3 XL, and a Pixel 3A. So
I'm not ready for the all digital future, but what may help the all digital future is if places start shutting down, like Circuit City is gone.
It was funny. It's funny you mentioned Circuit City because I looked it up. Online, and I knew they still had a digital presence. It is a sad state when you go to CircuitCity.com, Dan.
Oh, but they got bought out. Somebody bought them, and I think Circuit City.
I want to say it was like Tiger Direct or something, maybe.
I bought something from Circuit City Online a while ago.
Yeah, it is horrible now. They have overpriced cables. They have one brand of TV, basically. And there's maybe 50 items that you can buy in the whole entire online store. It's bad.
I never knew, even when we were working at Circuit City, that Circuit City owned CarMax.
I don't even know what CarMax is.
They sold cars. It's like they sold cars or something like that.
It was like an online dealership or something?
I think it was an actual dealership.
Oh, weird. Okay. I did not know that either. Huh.
I don't know if it was like I don't know too much about it, but I know it was something totally different than what we did at the store.
Right. Yeah. It was its own thing, but owned by Circuit City. Yeah.
It was owned by Circuit City. I don't know if whoever bought them still owns CarMax or if Circuit City sold that off before they went under. But anyway, I digress. So Circuit City's gone. Toys R Us is gone, which we'll talk about in a second. And Electronic Boutique, those stores shut down and turned into GameStop, right? Funko Land definitely turned into GameStop, but Electronic Boutique, EB Games
got bought out by GameStop, and they converted all the U.S. stores, at least. I believe in Canada, there's still some EB Games sitting around.
So,
but
GameStop is holding on for dear life. It's just not been looking good, and we haven't talked too much about some of the things that have happened. Where we talked about the CEO stepping down. We talked about them trying to sell themselves, and no one wants to buy them. But we haven't talked about the shares. Their shares are plummeting. But they're trying a last ditch effort to try to make themselves relevant. is they partner up with a global innovation design firm to design new test stores. So some of the stores focused on some of the concepts are going to be a competitive gaming store where it's homegrown e-leagues, and another concept is to have a store that only sells retro games. Now, I like some of the ideas, contrary to other people on YouTube, other personalities, other people in the gaming industry. I like some of these ideas. I just think it's about 5 years too late. They should have been trying to innovate at the beginning of this generation.
Oh, agreed. They should have saw the writing on the wall when everybody was putting up these digital stores. Even back in like the 360 era, right? You know, the Microsoft Game Store on like Xbox Live and PlayStation had their store, and Steam, right? Steam came out in 2004. Right, and it was an all digital way to get games. They always had sales. They still do. Like a lot of the digital versions go on sale every now and again, right? Because you can do that because you don't have to worry about product. You have unlimited product. They just download a bunch of files to their system and like play the game. Right? It's so much easier than going down to your local GameStop, looking to see if they have the game in stock, getting upset when they don't have the game in stock, going home and then just realizing I should have just bought it online, and then just buying it online the next time.
But I don't understand how they're going to do the retro games, right? Because I mean, when you buy, they have retro games online, and I've actually posted on Instagram when I get a glimpse of some retro games they sell in the store, but they don't sell a lot. But you never know what you're going to get because they don't really have anybody to manage it, right? So you could buy a copy of the trilogy, Ninja Gaiden trilogy, which is a really expensive game on the Super Nintendo.
You're taking a gamble.
It may not even be a real copy. It may be a fake.
Yep. There's been many reported incidents because you can bring them back to the store, I think. And
but they don't. You could trade it in. You could trade in retro games.
Yeah,
but they don't.
They can go and process them, and then they'll basically ship them back to their warehouse, and then they'll sell them online. They usually don't have them in the stores. Sometimes they do. I've seen them on rare occasions, but you're right. They're right. The staff isn't trained properly. They don't know what to look for. You know, the obviously the prices just come off a number sheet, so like that's not too big of an issue. Someone's doing.
And then you don't know if you're going to get if you get like a retro game like a PS2 game, just this picking a game out of a hat. You get a PS2 game, you don't know if you're going to have the case and manual with it. You know you get the game the disc. So that's even worse because I don't want their ugly proprietary case.
No, the ones that have a different texture on the outside and they're obviously like don't fit in with everything else. Yeah, no, I'm not about it. Like I know Spawnwave, who's a YouTube personality that like me and you watch on occasion. He always does videos where he buys stuff from GameStop and he'll do an unboxing. Here's what I got. He is frequently surprised. Sometimes there's a case, sometimes there's not a case. Like they just don't let you know, right? And they should, they should have a way of telling you like, okay, this is with the case, it's this price. This is without a case, and it's this price, and obviously you pack it up accordingly so it doesn't get scratched when it gets to you, but they can't even do that right. So, to bring this down to like the store level is better because then you would have like people there. They could examine the stuff. When you go in to buy, you can see the stuff.
They would do it right. Hopefully, they would do it right and have somebody there.
Exactly, and you just have to train them properly.
What they're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's very hard to do. Like running a retro game store is very difficult. Usually, a lot of people go out of business because margins can be razor thin. How do you get all the product in there? And you have to move stuff. You have to have a good rapport with your clientele, right? You got to make people want to come in again and again to buy stuff from you, and you want to make sure to get stuff in on a regular basis. Like
GameStop,
tough to do.
GameStop, hire. You know what? I accept the job as CEO of GameStop because this is not rocket science. I'm sorry, it's not. GameStop should turn into the Starbucks of video games. Look,
right. It's to do like a boutique, a place where you would want to go and hang out and lounge. Like Starbucks, you go in and get a coffee, you spend $3 to $5, and you're there like 20 minutes to a half an hour just sitting down on their comfy chairs, right? But they have all these things that you can buy while you're there. Maybe you get a second cup of coffee. Maybe you buy a CD or a cake or whatever. Like there's, they're obviously making money with their kind of lounge experience, right?
Well, look at the name. Look at the name. It's GameStop. You know, you stop. You go in, you stop, and you go hang out. You go get yourself a cup of coffee, go get yourself tea, go get yourself a little snack or cake, or, you know, for some weird reason, energy drinks and video games are marketed together. Every time we go to a con, it's always like sponsored by a video, a monster drink or energy drink.
Yeah, or mana potion or whatever. Yeah. Fuel,
so you get yourself
or whatever it is.
Go get yourself some tea, coffee, or energy drink, right? So the top level should be, and this is all just, you should hire me. I'm telling you, you should hire me. The top level is, okay, you got in the corner, you got your little, you know, your barista, right? Who knows games, by the way? Who knows games? And you can even have your game themed desserts, game themed teas or whatever, coffee. And then you have your VR section where you pay the VR, because that's been popping up too. A bunch of places where
there's like a ton of them in the city.
VR.
You can just go and play VR games.
Yeah, and you can even have just a store. This is the VR store, right? Not even put it in every store. This is the VR store, and this is the retro store. But it's also where you can get coffee, tea. You can plug your laptop in, do your homework. You can go play some games, right? You can go play some retro games or modern games.
You want the experience.
A place to comfortability experience, interactive. Yes.
And this has definitely been proven. Like it's you'll notice a lot of newer movie theaters moving towards the experience, right? Because just seeing a movie on a big screen and, you know, packing in with a ton of people in these tiny seats wasn't really doing it after a while, because you can just go in and buy a 100-inch TV for $200 and boom, like, why would I go out? And they saw that, and, you know, they saw the prices were dipping, and they're like, well, we have to do something. So you see these places like the Alamo Draft House, right, which have like Barca Lounger seats, and you can order food and drink there and have an experience, and, you know, you pay a little more for the ticket, and you're gonna get food when you're there. It's just kind of what you do, and it's great, you know.
That's where I saw John Wick 3. I saw John Wick 3, right, and they served the liquor. I was like, really? I was like, liquor? And she said, we can if you, they were closing, there was like another 15 minutes, and they were like, you can order another drink and we'll deliver it to your seat. Yeah. I was like, really? Wow. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. You have the little card, and it's all like, the process is great. I love that place.
I know. I was like, wow. So speaking of Toys R Us, Toys R Us closed 2 years ago, right? I think 2 years.
I want to say last year, no?
Maybe last year, maybe.
Is it the last year or the year before the holiday season?
Yes. No, it was early last year, because they squeezed out that one last holiday season. It closed early last year, but then they brought it back. In certain stores, it was like there were Toys R Us sections in, I think, certain Walmart or Targets. I think it could have been Walmart. Last season, we talked about that. With, you know, specific themed items, toys. But they're bringing Toys R Us. It's coming back for the holidays, and they're going to have more of a interactive experience with a focus on product discovery and engagement.
This is the boutique unique experience. You can go in and play with everything and see how
play with some of the toys out of box, and you know, customers can test it out, and it's free to play. Brand stations where, you know, they'll have like Mattel is here, and who owns Power Rangers? Saban or whatever. You know,
Saban, I think, or Bandai maybe. Bandai has it now.
Well, Bandai has Bandai has, you think they own the actual Power Rangers license?
I think so.
I know he sold it. He did sell it. I forgot.
I think it's the Bandai. Yeah, I could be wrong. Right. Namco Bandai. I think so.
It could be right. Just as a side note, I know we don't talk about Power Rangers at all.
We do talk about Power Rangers more than I'd like to. I'll say someone on this Rated G team here likes Power Rangers a little bit too much.
Well, you know, because I was young and you were in college. Came out.
I was already like, this show is trash. What is this Sentai Fighter stuff? No, I'm not about it.
In college, I was still 11 when.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I was wise beyond my years to realize it's not worth anybody's time.
Power Rangers was awesome. It's still going on. I think there's like, you know, the 10,000th Power Ranger team that come together.
Super Neo, Dinosaur, Megazord, whatever. Power Ranger.
They have the original.
Turbo 2.
They have the original theme song as a part of the new season.
Oh my God!
Jason, the original Red Ranger. The original Red Ranger is back.
Jason?
Jason is back.
Wow.
I just saw a teaser the other day, and I was like, it's too kiddie for me. But then Jason's back, so I'm going to watch it now. Jason's back.
That's like, the thing. He's like, my dude from my childhood. He's like, all right, I'll watch this one episode.
He's like, oh my God, you're the legendary Ranger. You're Jason. And he just smiles. And I was like, yes, he's back.
Oh,
I don't know what he's back for. Maybe he's a mentor. Maybe he's in one episode. I don't know. Because Tommy came back.
Probably he's like...
Tommy came back a few times in the comic book. Power Rangers comic book. A battle for the grid where, they were in a different multiverse. And the Green Ranger and White Ranger came together as one. And Tommy's a bad guy. Mm-hmm. That they reinvigorated the Power Ranger franchise in comic book form. But the TV show is still catered to kids because they want to sell toys.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So Toys R Us is back. Hopefully they can build on this. Maybe Toys R Us should just partner up with GameStop.
Well, yeah. The only thing that I'd be like worried about in this
GameStop or Us. GameStop or Us.
I think you gotta take that back to the workshop and work on that name a little bit. But the only thing that I'm worried about is that people are gonna come into Toys R Us and they'll be in the mall or whatever and they'll go, oh hey, Toys R Us, and the kids, I want to go in. And they go in and they play with all the stuff, right? And maybe they don't want to carry all the stuff around with them, right? So the dad is on the phone right there, and he goes to Amazon.com, and whoa, the kid really likes these Tonka trucks here. They like these Brio trains. I'll just order it online and ship it to the house and have it there as soon as I get home, right? What's to stop them from doing that other than a really good price, right? Are they going to be? Are they going to be loyal to the store that oh, hey, there's a great experience. All right, I'll get the gift for my kid here, and then we can take it home.
Maybe they can buy it from Amazon that's being sold from Toys R Us. They're a seller.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. There's just the experience in the store, and you just buy it online and then take it home. I don't know. Maybe they could work something out like that. It seems like if they have product in the store. And if it was me, if I was a dad and I saw my kid with all this stuff and this and that, I'm not going to necessarily buy everything that my kid wants at that particular time. I'm gonna make a note about it. Maybe buy it for a later date.
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, if you were a dad with a kid going into a mall to go shopping, I guarantee you 100%, you would not go to Amazon to try to buy it. Because you have a vehicle to drive, and the kid's gonna want to play with it right then and there. He's not gonna want to wait 24 hours.
He's got to learn, man. He's got to learn. The world ain't gimme. I want it now, and you get it.
All right.
You can go ahead and think that, but I have to teach that kid some harsh lessons. You don't get everything you want, and the things you do get, you may get at a later date.
Let's wait until Dave's a dad and see.
Listen,
wait
man.
Wait till you're a GMG.
Listen, man, it's fine. That kid can cry all he wants. All right, he's not going to get everything. He's not going to get the full Power Ranger set right away.
All right.
Maybe he'll get it for Christmas.
He'll just get the Red Ranger. He'll take the Red Ranger home right there. So you know what? You talk about we can't get what we want. Mm-hmm. Screw that. We could get what we want. You know why? Because we're entitled gamers. We're spoiled. Damn it.
Oh boy.
And I hate multiplayer games. I only brought the Division because you said that you wanted to play the Division with me.
Yeah.
And we would play together, and we loved the Division 1 because Division
good.
1 gave us nostalgia for New York. Division 2, we loved playing it because we loved the mechanics, but we just haven't gotten back into it, which we need to.
We definitely need to do that. I was 100% thinking the same thing.
But you know what I want from the Division? Because I'm a spoiled gamer. I want a single-player experience, so I don't need you to play it. Or play with a random person who's probably going to tell me to go fuck myself if I put the headphones on.
Well, you know what then? You know what? We may get our wish. The Division director basically put out the call and said, "Hey, if we made a single player division game, would you guys be about it?" And the fans resoundingly said yes. They said that would be awesome. We would love to see that. Why not? It's Ubisoft, who has the Tom Clancy franchise, has made amazing single-player games in Splinter Cell and Ghost Recon and, all of those games. And they're great. They're good single-player experiences. So they definitely know how to do that. To see something in the Division world, I'm 100% down.
The mechanics are tight, right? Mm-hmm. They can make an interesting story around the premises of Division. And with Call of Duty sort of had 3 studios rotating every 3 years, and now it seems that it's down to 2 studios rotating every 2 years now, and we don't know if Black Ops 6 is going to be just multiplayer, right? So
Black Ops 6, what happened to Black Ops 5?
I mean, Black Ops 5, sorry. I'm already jumping ahead. Black Ops 5, 6, and 7 every other year.
It's going to come in a triple pack for the Nintendo Switch, and you're going to have to download all of them.
It'll be a multiplayer. It'll be multiplayer games, right?
Yeah, of course.
And Battlefield was very disappointing last year. So I could see a Division game, in the Tom Clancy universe, a single player, come out during the holidays when there's a Black Ops multiplayer only game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll beat that Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be awesome.
It wouldn't be too difficult to do, right? The Division's got a really good story about the whole kind of Black Friday. There's this plague. It gets transmitted by all this money being handed around on Black Friday because it's the biggest shopping day of the year, right? That was kind of an interesting conceit. We saw what happened to New York. Now we see what happens to DC, right? I mean, obviously you kind of tone down the whole looter shooter thing where you keep getting guns. You make more story-driven missions where they're not like discrete. They're kind of building up to like a particular thing. Put in a different part of the country, right? Because we know at least New York and DC, at least parts of the East Coast, put it in the Midwest.
Make it where it travel. I could start in New York and I could travel to another, Canada or something.
Sure. I mean, you could do whatever you want because it's going to be a little more like, I would assume it'd be more mission-based. But like mission-based with like the narrative to back that up, so each mission goes into the next one, right? You could probably even do like co-op, right? If you want to hop in with a friend and be one of the other players on your team. So there's elements of the Division you could put into this, I think, and still make it a tight experience and still be something that fans of the multiplayer game would be like, oh, I'm also going to check this out because this looks kind of cool.
We talked about this being a looter shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Loot boxes. The Division not so egregious when it comes to like loot boxes, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not like other games, not like EA games, Zooey stuff, not like EA games.
Right.
But what if loot boxes were actually physically real, and you got a physical loot box?
Oh, so like loot box.
Loot box.
Loot box is the perfect example of that. You get a mystery box each month.
Well, IGN did that. IGN has, I don't know if they still do it. They had like a mystery box each month, but I don't know if it was really worth it. I know I didn't sign up for it. I know they have like a comic book one where you get like different comic books.
Right.
I probably would do that, but you're not going to get anything expensive. You're not going to get Superman, the original Superman comic book or anything like that.
No.
But PlayStation, Sony, at San Diego Comic-Con is selling actual collectible mystery loot boxes. For like $60.
Right.
The boxes look cool. The boxes look awesome because it has
like,
the traditional XO triangle
and circle,
square. And
right.
Circle.
Like it comes in the 4 colors of the face buttons. You can get them in one of each, and then there's a 5th one which is gray, has a gray top and the PlayStation logo around it.
The old school PlayStation logo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. From like the PS1. Yeah. Super cool.
They had less. It's limited too. They only have less than 500 units. Of each box manufactured.
They're running for about $60. All right. Today is the last day to get them. It's the last day of San Diego Comic-Con. Some people online were posting about them, saying that they were not worth their value because they were saying it's about an average value of $90 in a $60 box, right? Which is usually the case, right? You buy this random box and you get more value out of it than, buying all this stuff separately, right? Because you're getting a kind of a put together box. But fans are saying like there's not a lot of great stuff in here. There's some lanyards, there's some stickers, there's a.
I'm not gonna lie, I would have bought
PlayStation stand.
I would have just bought one box and that was it.
I mean, they look super cool. Like, I certainly want one, but $60 for a piece of cardboard? I don't know, Dan. I don't know.
All right. I would have bought one. Just like loot boxes in games. I would buy one and that's it. Try it out. Is that how that works, though?
Is that how that works? You buy one to get the taste, and then you keep buying more.
That's not me. I wouldn't get hooked on it.
Oh, shoot. That's funny. So yeah, I think that about wraps up episode 177. There's been a lot of news that came out this week, and we definitely went through it all, and we appreciate you guys for listening and sticking with us and doing all the good stuff that you do. If you want to interact with us, and we know you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Don't forget, our July contest is still going on. Head over to Twitter for contest entry and details. Also, check out the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Go to gamingpodcastalliance.com and check out all of the great podcasts on the network for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.